Good evening. Welcome to Divination Station Tarot on Three of Cups Divine Arts. As always, we're giving people a little bit to pop in. I do believe when I did the promos for that earlier, I said we're covering the Death card. We're actually covering the Devil. And I just realized I made that mistake. So, sorry about that. All right, so again, I'm just gonna wait for some people to pop on here. Got this shared out to the group. Now I just gotta share it to my page. And of course, when you do pop on, please go ahead and let me know you're here. Give me your name, where you're from, pronouns. So I'm Liz. I'm in Buffalo, New York, and I do use she, her pronouns. And looks like we got a couple people popping in here. As always, I believe the comments are a little bit behind, so bear with me. And like I said, getting this shared out. I'm sharing it to some new groups today, because why not? I'm trying to get it over to my page. So again, once you do pop in here, Brooke, hello, fellow New Yorker, perfect. And I see Caitlin, good evening, perfect. Hi. Ari, hi. All right, so again, when I did the promo, I do realize that I indicated that I was going over the death card, which we already went over that, so we're not going over that again. We are actually going over the Devil today. So Michelle, hello. Again, just give people a couple more minutes to pop in. And of course, I do want, you have anything to share throughout. I do want this to be a safe space for you to go ahead and feel any, to share any feelings or anything that you have going on. I know that, pretty much nothing is business as usual right now, and that's okay. I'm still here, you're still here. We are all still trying to make the best of this situation, and I think community is important with that. So I do thank you all for sharing in this time with me. So again, Caitlin, once you do pop on, I will be doing card readings at the end. So just hashtag shared. That way I can keep track of who's sharing. I can, get a list going. Okay. Leslie, hi. All right, so as I was writing the notes for today's card, it seems fairly fitting, given the behavior of some people out there right about now, but we'll get to that. Again, we'll give everybody about a minute. So if you're popping in, hi Sunshine, just say hi. Let everybody know where you are watching from, and drop your pronouns in there. So again, I'm Liz Whitaker. I do use she, her pronouns. I'm in Buffalo, New York. Beautiful spring day. I will say I saw more people walking than I think I ever have on my drive from work home. I saw people out walking by the river, out walking by the nature preserve. So at least that's good. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to Divination Station Tarot, brought to you by True Paranormal, the podcast. I'm Liz Whitaker, your host for this broadcast. Today we will be discussing the devil, and I will be following up with some sample readings. When you join the live, please take a moment, drop your name, where you're from, your pronouns. Also, please make sure to like, wow, or heart react the video. Tag your friends. Kind of helps us expand our organic reach and lets people know where to find us. If you are watching the replay, please comment #replay. That way I can go ahead and watch the comments and I can reply to you as well. If you have pulled any cards this week, let me know. And let me know how your overall practice, whether it's tarot or magic, how has your practice been affected over the past week? Personally, I think I've been going through the really motivated to the ennui kind of sets in, and I'm not really, some of the events that I'm doing have been rescheduled until later in the year, which is fine. But kind of a downer, when I have been preparing for them. So I've been going from really motivated to kind of switch to online and distance readings through Zoom or FaceTime, to just total ennui of like, I'll just deal with it later. The Gen X kind of came out and I'm just like, I'm going to watch some TV about it. So, kind of trying to find that balance again. Hello, Erin. Trying to find that balance of staying motivated and just shifting gears, which I will admit is a bit of a challenge for me, especially when I'm on a set trajectory that I set for myself. It can be a little bit hard for me to adjust, but we have to, and I'm learning. So that's kind of where I am. So just let me know, how your practice has changed. Maybe instead of going to yoga classes, you're practicing at home. Maybe your magic, maybe your spells have kind of gone from I don't want to say this in a bad way, but have gone from yourself to expanding that out to include your neighbors and others in the wellness, right? So I have been, I'm also in the middle of moving, so it really makes it difficult for me to really have any regular practice. I do when I come into my office, I can do things, but I can't do it just on the fly because everything's kind of packed up. Hi, Mrs. Gurdon. So that's kind of where I'm at. So we'll go ahead and get into the lesson. So today we are doing the devil, which is all about well, first off, it's the number one card that pops up when you're trying to convince someone that, tarot isn't evil. It has nothing, it's not devil worship. It's not any of that. The devil loves to pop up because tarot can be snarky. And then you have to you son of a bitch. And then you have to pull another card and, hope it's the sun. But we have the devil. So just looking at it, we have the figure that looks very much like the kind of Christian accepted version of the devil. We have the wings, we have the horns, we have the upside down pentacle. We have the two figures, which do represent Adam and Eve. And if you kind of look closely, Trisha, gotcha. Yeah, changing trajectories, how the Gemini thrives, and crazy making. Okay, so if the setup has looked familiar, it is because it is pretty much what the Lovers looks like. So it's really kind of hard for me to talk about one without the other because there are parallels in them. And I'll touch on this a little bit more. I just kind of wanted to because I think I've pulled these together before too. So with the devil, we do have, it is that earth sign, and it does represent the zodiac sign of Capricorn. So remember, we have those cards that represent zodiac signs. Temperance was Sagittarius, and Capricorn is the devil. So the devil is the goat. So it's not saying that, you know, Capricorns are the devil, but Capricorns are represented by the goat. And they're earthy. They're bound. They're probably one of the most kind of grounded earth symbols there is. And represented by the planet Saturn. So what does that mean? So Saturn has to do with karma. Saturn's kind of big energy. There's really not much lighthearted about Saturn. Saturn kind of moves you around. It's karma. So, you know, we have those heavier kind of authoritative energies with Saturn, and you can definitely see that in the devil as well. So after Temperance, we have the devil. So Temperance is all about making it level, taking it easy, not too much, not too little. The devil is all about excess. Number one, all about excess. So what does that mean? So anything that you can have addictions to can pop up with the devil. And this, you know, can be the big kind of heavy things, alcohol, drugs, anything like that. Can also be shopping or love, lust, temptation, anything like that. The devil can pop up. Hello, Ashley. Hello, Catherine. So anything like that can come up with the devil too. So when you see it pop up, it's really kind of a check-in to say, okay, what am I doing too much of? And really kind of check in there. I did a reading and it popped up and the client immediately said shopping. So she knew exactly what it was. When she feels stressed, when she feels down, she'll shop. And what does that lead to? That leads to excess. Borderline, you know, can look like hoarding to some people because it makes you feel good. It's doing things that make you feel good. Augusta, hi. It's also kind of living in bondage. I don't mean that kind of bondage. It's bound to expectations. So sometimes when this comes up, I will talk about being bound to expectations, usually other people's expectations of you, societal expectations of you. So if you are in a spot where that's a little bit unconventional, maybe you're not, on that fast relationship track to, falling in love, moving in, getting a dog, getting married, getting a house, having kids. If that like relationship escalator isn't for you, sometimes you get a little flack for that. You get people, well, when are you going to do this? When are you going to grow up? Being bound to those expectations. Other people are expecting you to behave a certain way. So I see this card showing up when that is in play. So yeah, after Temperance, sometimes the card shows up when we kind of just want to maybe have to let loose and have fun. And that shows up too. So depending, because Capricorn is that really driven, that really solid energy. So there are times where I will, kind of suggest, when was the last time you did go out and have fun? And so the devil made me do it. So I want to take a quick, kind of touch on that. So we can kind of blame victim blame, right? Or blame ourselves, right? The devil made me do it. I was not acting of my own accord. These compulsions came up. And that's where the devil can pop up too. So yeah, after temperance, we kind of get carried away a little bit with that lust, with that temptation. And right now, I will say that some people are getting a little bit carried away with that, with excess. I'm not going to get too much into it because I don't want to turn this into a whole. I don't want to turn this into coronavirus or COVID-19 show. But, going just my regular grocery shopping this weekend, it was a little bit difficult because, people are in that kind of panic mindset of grabbing anything that they can. So it did make it difficult for someone like me that kind of just shops once a week. I don't really stock up on too much. And since I am moving, there's a lot that has, I don't have a lot just hanging out of my house. So it shows the human, the human capacity for empathy and the opposite. The human capacity for empathy, and so that would be the lovers, right? And the human tendency towards selfishness, the devil. So, right now we have those two kinds of people. We have the people that are running out and, getting things for their elderly neighbors. And we also have the people that are, grabbing the last package of toilet paper in front of the, elderly person. So, kind of check in with your own behaviors. How are you feeling about this? And where do you fall with that? So we'll go ahead and start looking at our additional cards. And I am trying to keep up with the comments here. Keep them coming. When you pop in, make sure you drop, say your name, say hi, say where you're watching from. And if you do, hashtag shared. So if you share the video out, the live feed out, I am doing card pulls at the end. So go ahead and hashtag shared. I'll get your name on the list. And we'll get a card for you at the end. Okay. So the devil, the Tarot de Marseille, we kind of have this almost a little bit more humanoid. Looks like it has both male and female characteristics, kind of male on the bottom, female on the top. So we have that kind of all-encompassing energy there. And then we have the two people down below, and they're both horns as well. And they are bound, and so the thing about the bondage is it's not, they're not tied to it. They can make that choice to leave. They can make the choice to slip the chains off and to walk away. So that's why the check-in is important with the devil. What are you feeling bound to? What are you feeling that you can't leave? And that's, that's one of the important things to look at with the devil. And Tarot of the Cat people always, this one is probably one of the creepiest cards in the deck. I think it has something to do with like the eyes there. Like they kind of look like serpent eyes to me. And then we have the two cats down there who are kind of in that like hunched back, kind of like danger pose. So that's the devil there. So a little bit different representation. The colors are very dark in this too. So most of the colors in this deck are going to be very jewel tone, very vibrant. And this card, the colors are a little bit more muted. Kind of the same thing with this one. In the Tarot de Marseille deck, most of the colors are pretty bold. And this card almost looks like everything is just kind of etched. Nothing's really like solid. And then the Thoth deck. So in the Thoth deck, we have an actual goat. with the kind of curly, crazy horns. It's kind of standing on top of the two orbs. And in the two orbs, one looks kind of like they're fighting, and the other looks like they're kind of like doing acrobatics. I don't know if you can see that. So that kind of represents the two sides too, the masculine and the feminine. And then it almost looks like, it's not quite spider webs, that kind of looks like Da Vinci's wings, if they're like started to like decompose a little bit, like there and there. And in the middle, the staff has those Egyptian, has that Egyptian feel. And then he has that third eye. And then of course down there we'll have the symbol for Capricorn and the Hebrew letter. All right, so we also have, and this is kind of one of my favorite. I'm going to check my phone real quick because like I said, I don't, oh, Jenna, hello. I'm not really seeing comments and I'm not sure if Facebook is just not loading them or if I'm behind. So how do you feel when the devil pops up? Hi. How do you feel when you see the devil pop up in a reading? Either if you're doing it for someone else, it's kind of one of those cards that everyone has a reaction to. How do you handle that when it pops up? If you're getting a reading, how have you handled it when it pops up for you? What sort of feelings does it trigger? And then we have the Barbara Walker Tarot. And this one is a little, it's a little bit more simple, but it's also, it's fairly evocative. We have the bright red, the black, we have that devil figure. This one reminds me more of a satyr. And we actually have, it's like the North Node sign and an A, so I'm not sure where the symbology is for that A. All right. Cool. Joy, hello. Yeah, Joy. Cool. So again, we have the two figures down at the bottom, and they're not even bound. They might be enraptured, but they're not bound. So those two figures are really just kind of hanging out down there. And then there's that idea that looks like an offering bowl. So this looks more ritualistic to me than some of the other versions. And this is probably my favorite devil card. It's the Tarot of St. Petersburg. I just love this. I just love this rendition of the devil. There's nothing really like supernatural about him except he has the horns and the wings coming out. It's almost like he's at a podium. He's real beefy. And he has tattoos. And the two people, again, are kind of very loosely bound in the bottom. And it's around their waist. And just sort of like touching their feet. It's not really even, it's not tied around them or anything. So that is the Russian Tarot of St. Petersburg. Joy, thank you. And then I did want to show the Star Child Tarot. It's a little bit softer version of the devil. And I think it's Temptation in the Good Tarot too. So I know I've pulled out the Good Tarot a couple times. Hi, Josh. Joshua. I don't want to assume Josh. Sorry. It's Temptation in that deck. And in the Star Child Tarot, it's Oppression. So they take a bit of a softer view on it, but you have those clouds, you have those dark clouds kind of trying to penetrate that spirit corona. Corona means crown, and that's actually what that is. And the figure looks like it's kind of cloaked in lace. Kind of reminds me of the woman in white. The kind of archetype ghosty story. This kind of reminds me of the woman in white. And looks like kind of trying to juggle all of the elements. So kind of trying to juggle air and earth and trying to like keep it all up. So that's oppression. So even though it is a little bit of a lighter card, we have those really kind of dark edges kind of coming in. And then I have the Arthurian Legend Tarot. I actually got the book for it because there's a lot of the Arthur legends, like the main ones that I know, but there's some very specific references in the deck that I don't know off the top of my head. So, and I love to learn all of the little random facts and details that I can. So of course I did the book. So this one is the horned one. So if anyone here does follow the Wiccan principles, you will recognize the horned one. Probably most witches in general will. Cernunnos, or the horned one. So you kind of see him in that kind of traditional devil stance, but he's more surrounded by the animals. So he does lead the wild hunt. So it's that like ethereal kind of liminal space feel. Is it night? Is it day? It's kind of in between. And then he's holding the snake in one hand. And then the other, it kind of looks like he's holding it's probably a horn of some sort. Oh, he has it kind of around his neck. And then the animals are kind of poking around. So with this, the Lord Cernunnos is the Lord and Protector of the beasts. This card, it can reflect wild, unconventional behavior. And it is thought that wood carvings and images of Cernunnos influenced the Christian kind of version of the devil. So you can see, we have the horns up top, the kind of shaggy fur trousers on the bottom, the beard, the long hair. So this is thought to be the origin of the Christian version, at least visually, of the devil. So again, how do you feel when the devil pops up in readings? Either if you are doing the reading for someone else or if you are getting a reading. How do you feel when the devil pops up? All right, I'll go ahead. We're right about halfway through. So I'll go ahead for a quick sponsor break here. Divination Station is sponsored by True Paranormal, the podcast. Leo Rizzuti takes you on a journey into the supernatural with the mysterious, strange, and things that just cannot be explained. Join in by following True Paranormal, the podcast on Facebook, where you'll be treated to spooky stories, tips for doing your own investigations, interviews with paranormal investigators. Every week, catch up with Leo on True Paranormal, the podcast. All right, so I do want to get the week forecast going out. And I'm clearly 100% organized today. So before we do that, I do want to talk about the tarot tip. So last week we talked about tarot timing with the zodiac, with the cards that represent the zodiac. So if we were going on that system, if we saw the devil pop up, you'd say, okay, so that's going to happen towards the end of the year, right? December into January. And if we saw the lovers pop up, we'd say that would happen more towards the summer. So we're going by the start and the end of that zodiac sign. Today, I want to talk about tarot timing with the suits. So if someone has a very specific question, when is this going to happen? You can pull a couple cards and kind of go off that. If wands show up, that means fast. Wands are quick, couple days, maybe a week. If the swords pop up, it's a little bit longer, within a week or a month. Swords aren't quite as quick, but definitely still like sharp. And cups are going to be with the seasons. So if cups pop up, you can say within, a few within the season. Pentacles are the longest, up to a year. Pentacles are grounding. The earth moves, it's very slow. Everything else can kind of be quicker. So you can use that to determine timing, approximate timing, in tarot spreads. And this week I do want to use the Tarot of the Pagan Cats because they're fun and they're cute, and I think we need some fun and cute right now. Okay, so what I do here is I'll just pull 3 cards just to kind of give you an indication of how the week ahead might go. So we have the Tower, so that's super fun. Let me make sure I write that down. So we have the Tower, Knight of Cups, and Justice. So the week ahead might seem like everything is 100% kind of shaken down to the core. But there's always going to be, it's Knave of Chalices. I'm sorry. So Knave would be like the page. So in this, that actually makes way more sense. So in this kind of this turbulence, we're going to have to find new ways to care about each other. We're going to have to find new ways to care about ourselves. We might have to put things as a priority, set things as a priority that we're not used to setting as a priority. We might have to set boundaries that we're not used to setting as boundaries, especially when it comes to maybe work or, again, expectations to get out and do things. So you might have to really kind of dig deep and find that compassion and share it. And then Justice, I mean, things happen in the way that they're set to happen, and we really can't, not only can we not change it, and this kind of, came down too, it's all in the matter of like how it's handled and what's fair. So be fair, be kind, be courteous, know that things are changing and there is definitely upheavals going on, but that's okay. I do want to give people a chance to check in and share. I do have Caitlin, Trish, Jenna, and Joy for sharing out. Thank you very much. If you have a few more minutes, go ahead, pop in, get share the broadcast out, #shared, and I will get you a card reading. And we will be going over the tower next week anyway. So this is a really good kind of start to get a jump start on next week's card. So we're really almost through the major arcana. So that's kind of exciting. So I want you guys out there to kind of think about how you want to go forward. I have plans in mind, so I know what I would like to do going forward. But, you know, if you guys want something in particular, comment down there. Find my page, it's Divination Station Tarot. On Facebook, I'll drop the link down there too for you. And just let me know if there's anything in particular. I like doing these kind of little mini lessons that are kind of deep dive a specific card. So my thought is to kind of do an overview of the suits and then do a deep dive of each specific suit. I don't know that I'll do one card per broadcast. I might, because, you know, there's certainly, you know, tons to talk about with each card. So if you would like that and maybe get a better understanding of each card, let me know. And when we're done, that means I will have done 78 of these. So if you want to hang out with me, you know, about 60 more times, let me know. All right, so Caitlin. The Sun. I think I've pulled this for you before. So we have the Sun. Things are really going to start to look up. Even through like the darkness, we have to find that bright. So just, I'm picturing like finding that sunny spot and just kind of stretching out. So imagine that big floofy orange cat. Oh, and the sun's face is a cat too. You know, in the sunflowers, just kind of taking a snooze. So this might also be, Erin, hi. So this could really be about self-care for you too. Really kind of taking that moment for yourself, stretching out in the sun and taking a snooze. And just as a reminder, you know, that things aren't all doom and gloom, even though I did pull the tower, so that's super fun. All right, Trish. 10 of Wands. So 10 of Wands is feeling burden and feeling stress and overwhelm. So right now, you've been trying to push through, trying to manage, you know, trying to complete all the tasks that have been given to you. And it's just getting really stressful. It's just getting really hard. So kind of remember what I said about, you know, being a time kind of unprecedented to deep dive your boundaries, deep dive what you need, deep dive how you can serve others while kind of preserving your own health and sanity. So really kind of take a deep dive with that. What can you prioritize? What can you kind of like let go for a little bit? Who can you say no to? Who can you say not right now to? Come back later. Be back in half, you know, get one of those signs, return at 1 p.m. Because there is a lot of that, right? All right, so we got Jenna coming up next. Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles has kind of a new opportunity in that ground, in that earthy realm. So it can be, you know, new financial opportunities. We kind of have that really pretty Siamese just kind of hanging out with that really big pentacle there. It is also springtime, which is a time for planting. And I seem to recall you're about as good at plants as I am. So that's a challenge. But, you know, right now, if you have been thinking about it, a different, you know, opportunity business-wise, it's a good time to kind of deep dive that and kind of let that seed germinate right now and see where it grows. So that's kind of what I'm getting for you with this card, is a germination. So that it's that opportunity to see what grows. All right. And Erin, I know you just popped on. Right now I am doing 1-card readings. All you got to do is share the video out and just comment #shared, and I can get one for you too. Next up is Joy. Joy, 2 of Swords. 2 of Swords is all about being at kind of an impasse. And right now with this card, you're really trying to very carefully balance and navigate your way through, and this is kind of this is what came through. You're trying to not make a decision. So if there's a couple things or, some routes to go, some things going on, you're kind of carefully tiptoeing to not really go one way or the other. But not making a decision is also making a decision. So kind of really deep dive those 2 choices. One of the things that comes up with 2 of Swords is, are you trying to make the decision logically, or are you trying to make the decision using your intuition? Sometimes if we try to overthink it and ignore our intuition, it just doesn't feel right. It's not in alignment. And sometimes if we do go with our intuition, people think we're nuts. Alice, hi. Yeah, Jenna, I thought I remembered you posting that. I haven't had an aloe plant in a long time, but I'm thinking I should get one. Alice, hi, how are you? All right, and Josh is up next. The Empress. The Empress is all about creation, the divine feminine in the creative sense, creating. It's a very grounded card. And it is really about springtime. She is, Persephone, Demeter. When Persephone comes back up, and I'm actually seeing Persephone as one of her kittens. So then when, Persephone returns to the above world, Demeter is once again happy. And the spring happens. Everything starts to grow. Comfort is something that came down. You're looking for comfort. And that's like actual physical comfort. The cat's like on a velvet settee and is represented by Venus. Venus rules Taurus. Taurus is all about the comfort. So maybe it's a time to really kind of pay attention to self-care in that respect for you. And, if you gotta, kind of hunker down a little bit, do it right, do it up. Make sure you have all of the things that you like, that you want, and just kind of have those surrounding you. It's also a great time to kind of deep dive anything that you have wanted to get into, like wanted to get into making. It's a great time to actually make that happen. All right, Erin, you are up next. So I am using Tarot of the Pagan Cats. It's one of my mini decks. So Erin, for you, I have the Magician. The Magician is all about manifestation. It is divine masculine in the active sense. The Magician has all the tools in front of him, and he just has to figure out what to do with it. So the magician is all about kind of taking idea from spirit and creating it on this physical plane. So it tends to show up when there's kind of a lot of stuff going on and just make it happen. A magician is make it happen. Anything that you can think, you can do. And again, that was for Erin. And Alice, you are next. Alice, 9 of Pentacles. Oh, the falcon on this one is awesome. So in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the falcon is usually a lesser figure. It's kind of perched on it's perched on the woman's hand. But here, it's nice and prominent. So here, 9 of Pentacles is all about fruition. You know, you've worked hard, you have put time and energy and resources, and you're getting those resources back. And in getting them back, you've been able to put them where you want them. So it's about creating your space and the space surrounding you, making it comfortable, making it lush, making it yours, making it sacred. That's kind of what came through for you. Making your space sacred and where you can go to kind of really do your thing. All right. And I think that's all that has shared. If you have shared and I did not read, get one for you. Just kind of pop down and let me know you did share. I'm going to go ahead and get my my page link and drop it down there for you. I do want to say, usually this is where I'm going to promo classes that I'm doing and things like that. But right now, I'm not really sure. I know a lot of the events that I did have scheduled have been rescheduled for later in the year, and that's okay. But what I can do and what I am doing, I am running a special on distance readings. So that can be any way that works for you. It can be, you know, something like Facebook chat, you know, Facebook video chat where we do this. It can be a Zoom meeting. It can be FaceTime if you have an iPhone, email, phone call, anything like that. I am running a 25% off special. So what that comes down to, for 30 minutes, it's $36. And for 60 minutes, it's $45. So that's 25% off my usual rates for half-hour and hour readings. You can message me directly, either my personal Facebook, and I'll get you the scheduling link, or Divination Station. I did pop the link down in the notes. Alexa, hello. Good. Sunshine, perfect. I'll get you. Esther, Alexa. And I'm just keeping track here. And another thing that I'm doing is offering custom spell bags. So I'm going to kind of stick around the office a little bit more, and I'm going to make some custom spell bags. I did get quite a few stones. So I got quite a few of these little guys, just bursting with crystally goodness. I have most of my herbs here. Like I said, I am moving, so things are kind of in a state of flux, but I've been able to kind of get most of the stuff here. So I'm going to be making some spell bags. I'm going to have some kind of standbys. I'm going to have some standards that I will try to always have on hand. And I can also do custom spell bags. And depending on where you are, I can ship them for about $5-6. So go ahead and, again, contact me if you want something like that. Also, I did just add to my offerings today, I'm doing teacup altars. So what this is an example. This is a self-love teacup altar I made. So picking a perfect, beautiful teacup. There's salt, so it has that cleansing property. There's rose petals, there's jasmine, and a little bit of black salt as well. And a nice hunk of raw rose quartz. So I will be making some more of these up and getting them out there for sale too. So I'm going to be shifting a little bit. And thank you for sticking with my shameless self-promotion there. All right. And I do believe I will be at Rising Goddess this Wednesday. We can do the social distancing there. We can do it far enough apart. If that changes, I will post. All right. Again, thank you for bearing with me. My shameless self-promotion. All right, sunshine. Eight of chalices or Eight of Cups. So Eight of Cups is, and kind of going off this card, is kind of have everything you want in one place, but again, it might not be in alignment. So you're like, I want to go outside. Not really. Maybe don't go outside too much right now. But you kind of take stock. You look at what you have. You look at where you are, and you really decide: is this for me? Is this in alignment? And you can kind of see the cat following. It almost looks like following the yellow brick road. And the moon in there is, I can't really see it. It's an eclipse, but it's also a cat face. So really think about following your emotions and your intuition, even if it seems like it doesn't make sense. Maybe you should stay. Everything's here. You've worked for this, but it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel in alignment. Your soul is calling you somewhere else. So really feel where your soul is calling you. And is it feasible to follow that soul call? All right, Esther. Ten of Cups, or Ten of Wands again. So 10 of Wands is overwhelmed, overworked. So for you, I'm kind of getting overworked more than overwhelmed. People kind of keep coming at you and you keep saying yes. And it's really giving you that feeling of being overworked. And that could breed resentment. So really check in and see if there is anything that you can, see if you can reprioritize in any way. And, kind of do some self-care, some self-love. And I don't mean just kind of run a nice bath and, listen to a CD or canned up CD. Oh my God. That probably showed my age right there. Listen to some music and have a glass of wine. What I mean is take care of yourself and your health. Overworking yourself is not always the best answer. All right, and Alexa. Six of Wands. So Six of Wands is all about victory. It's all about being successful in your pursuits. So this cat's been out on the hunt and is coming back with the spoils of that hunt. So there's energy, there's a spring in its step, right? He's like definitely coming back with, a really good catch. And there's a lot of movement and a lot of energy in the card. So whatever you have been really going for, it might be the time to kind of make that happen. All right, and that's bringing us pretty much to the end. Thank you so very much for watching. Again, make sure you have liked and followed Divine of Cups. Oh my God, Three of Cups Divine Arts. There is a little bell. You can click on that and get notified of all the shows that pop up on Three of Cups Divine Arts. If you like my page, Divination Station Tarot, you can keep up with my activities. You can keep up with the offerings that I have. And also you can take advantage of that 25% off readings. That'll be for about, it'll probably be for about a month or so. So we're going to take it right into April and then kind of touch base after that. If you do have, any questions, anything, I'm always around to respond. Any feedback, let me know what you like. Let me know what you'd like to see more of, and I will try to make that happen. All right, thanks again for watching. Thanks again for sharing out and just being overall supportive and awesome humans. Keep doing that, okay? Sending everybody, so much love and strength, and really, I know it's kind of a weird, tough time, but we'll get through it. It's kind of a new spot for all of us, and just be kind, be compassionate, and really reach out and see what you can do to help, and help anybody that needs help. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your moon day.